Welcome to another video from Guilao 60. Right now, as we speak, in China, the People's Congress is voting to approve the next 5-year plan. This will be the 14th 5-year plan. Since 1953, China's been doing the same thing. And what's in this plan? Well, the first thing that I noticed in this 5-year plan is urbanization. What they're doing is they're developing mega cities, 5 different mega cities, Beijing, Tianjin area being one of them, the greater Bay Area, Guangzhou, Hong Kong, Macau, that area down there. Another one is Chongqing and Chengdu, and there's a couple others there. They're planning to move another 220 million people from rural areas into the cities here in China. Okay, so what does that do? Well, for one thing, it makes the population of China richer. And how does it do that? Well, it brings up the standard of living. People in the rural areas moving into the city, they're closer to secondary education, universities, colleges and such. They've got better medical because they're closer to the higher quality doctors, hospitals. They have better housing. With the better education come better jobs, more high-tech jobs, higher paying jobs, things like this. So when they move into the city, it makes their lives better. It brings their standard of living up. And that gets me to the number 2 part of this. As you bring their standard of living up, they have more expendable cash. China is pivoting, another part of this 5-year plan, China is pivoting from an export-dominated economy to a domestic consumption economy, and they call this the dual circulation. Dual circulation, the interior circulation, the exterior circulation. The interior circulation is the domestic consumption, and as these people get more expendable cash by moving into the cities, getting better education, better jobs, higher tech and such, and they have more expendable cash, they have more money to spend on products produced in China for the Chinese people. From cell phones to shoes to cars, machinery, computers, you name it. It's all made here in China for the Chinese consumers. And you have to keep in mind that China has 20% of the world's population, 1.4 billion people. So developing products in China for domestic consumption just makes a lot of sense. Another one of the initiatives that they're promoting in this 5-year plan is promoting research and development, higher tech products, becoming more self-reliant for the high-tech products, not relying on the rest of the world to supply things like computer chips, components that China needs for their higher tech products to be developed and manufactured here in China. So as they develop these products, they're less reliant on the rest of the world. And in this day and age, as we've seen, that's probably a good direction to go, just for the fact that in a world like it is right now, where there's competition between countries and large companies, corporations, you really can't rely on the other people, because they can change their rules and say, no, we're not going to sell you this right now. We don't want to sell you this product because that makes your company able to compete with our company. So as China develops these high-tech products, they become more competitive in the world market. They become more self-reliant on their own corporations, their own high-tech, which I think is a great deal. Some of these high-tech industries that they're getting into, artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, biotechnology, the 5G, quantum computing, and that's just a small section of the things that the higher technology that China's getting into. Competing on a world stage, oh yes. Do they have enough technology to be self-sufficient as of today? No, they don't. But they're moving in the right direction, aren't they? And as China keeps developing their urbanization, develops their high-tech companies, develops their domestic consumption, and don't forget, they're still doing trade around the world. And China has a little different understanding of how to deal with other countries than a lot of countries in the past around the world. They believe in soft power. And what soft power, you may ask? Well, rather than going in and telling people what to do, what they do is they create opportunities in other countries. They help build infrastructure. They help build manufacturing companies. They help build industries in other countries. The students going to university, and as those students come to university in China, they sort of learn the Chinese way. They learn the Chinese language. They're educated in China. They understand the Chinese more. More willing to do business with the Chinese? Definitely. So they go back to their own country or their own continent, and they have the skills to do business with a country like China. And last but not least, and there's a lot of other things in this 5-year plan, but the ones that I'm talking about today, last but not least, is their environmental protection. They're taking it upon themselves to peak out on their CO2 emissions by 2030. In other words, after 2030, it won't get any higher. And they have a long-term goal to be carbon neutral by 2060. You've watched some of the videos that I've done. They're into windmills. They're into solar farms. You see the e-bikes, and you see the electric cars driving around China. You see the high-speed trains that are electric running around China. You see the subways that go under the streets of the cities of China. All of these take cars off the road. All of these are basically carbon neutral, and they make the quality of the air and the pollution less and less in China. I've noticed it over the last 18 years that the pollution is basically gone in places like Nanning. As China keeps going with these 5-year plans, in the future pollution will be less, standard of living will be higher, more domestic consumption. They'll have more partners around the world. And as they keep doing this, and I've been here since 2003, I've seen the growth of this great country. And each time they do one of these 5-year plans, it gives them a goal to shoot for 5 years down the road. And you know what? They always make that goal possible. One of the goals that I noticed last year was, poverty alleviation. They got rid of absolute poverty here in China. And that just goes to show that pulling 800 million people out of poverty is an amazing feat. So China can do whatever it sets its mind to, and these 5-year plans are just part of that. I am amazed. I am always amazed by what China can actually do. Anyway, that's another video from Guilao 60.